This is CS47 section 01, lecture 4. It's on, basically we'll discuss on the programming computer. We'll talk about what is a programming. We'll talk about programming languages, and also we'll talk about some basics of MIPS assembly code. So in this class we'll be using MIPS as a processor, base processor, to learn programming that processor using its assembly language. Okay, so again, to put emphasis on this specific point, that this class is not to learn assembly language, but it is to use the assembly language to understand the underlying hardware. So our target hardware is MIPS processor, and we'll kind of learn a little bit basics of its assembly code to explore different hardware feature and understands its behavior. Now let's discussing about programming, especially what is a programming, right? It is not just the Java or C as a program. Like when you talk about program, you basically, especially in the computer science department, we think, okay, it's a program, it's a Java, it's a C, or it's a Python, or whatever, right? But in fact, if you look at outside world, for example, if you go to a theater or some ballet program or some classic music program, right? They have these program schedules and charts they give out, right? That's also a program, right? So in general, according to this dictionary.com, a program is a plan of action to accomplish a specified task or specified end. Okay, so that's a definition of a program. So program is just not Java or C program, as you say. That's also a program, but it is just not that one. Okay. So how do we instruct others to follow a program? That's basic questions, right? This is like in context of computer science, when we are doing writing a program, we are trying to instruct, for example, the processor to do something for us, or computing system to do something for us. Think in the other way also, right? Like you all have some graduation programs, which means you have to take specified number of courses, and one course is depending on other, and so on and so forth. So you have a specific plan or program of at what point you'll pick up which subject, and so on and so forth, right? So that's also a type of programming which gives you the means, gives you the ability to finish your graduation in time, right? That is your specific goal, that you need to be graduated. So that's also a program, right? Think like a weekend party, right? If you arrange a weekend party, that's also a program, and you need to accomplish that task. You need to perform certain steps, right? You need to invite people, you need to accommodate some place to hold the party. You need to like arrange for the foods and drink and music and DJs and those kind of things, right? This the arranging a party, we can think of it as a program, and you can break it down in specific tasks and steps through which you can accomplish that task, right? Now think again, I'm coming back to that party arranging things. Think that you are not directly arranging the party, but you are the one who actually uses others to arrange party for you, right? So you need to give the other parties, that other person or persons, a clear instruction that, hey, invite these people, okay, arrange for this type of foods, and this drink, this type of music, go to this DJ, etc., all the logistics, right? So you have to be very particular about those steps. And also important thing is that how do you do that, accomplish through some other third party. person is to say your steps, say your requirements, say your instructions or commands to them to arrange for a party, or write it down, right, in a written note, or you send an email that, hey, I need this, etc. Now go and arrange for that, right? So res- in that respect, another question comes up, right? What language, for example, right? Of course, like the one that other understand. Remember, you are now arranging a party. You are not doing anything. You are actually accomplishing that task, arranging a party through another person, right? In that situation, when you are instructing that other person, you must provide that instruction in a language that other person understand, right? So it's not for you, it's for the other person, right? So let's look at one example, like end goal, for example, to complete our CS47 prerequisite survey. So that's your goal, right? And as an instructor, I am giving you certain step, okay, or a program, as in quotation, if I can say, as a program, thus to you that I'm defining a program to you or steps to you through which you can accomplish this end goal. Let's see the plan following. So I think no one or almost all of you couldn't understand a bit of it, okay, because of the fact these steps are written in a language which is unknown to many of you. But believe me, this is a perfectly written instruction in one of the language. This is my native language, it's a Bengali, and it's a perfect steps to accomplish this task. But it's in my language, which I understand. But I believe most of you who are, I believe like there are not many Bengali students in my class. You won't be understanding this, right? So let's do the same thing as this. I believe now you guys are understanding what needs to be done, right? So create an unofficial transcript, do an unofficial transcript in part in my SJSU, and so on and so forth, and from beginning to end, like how you can and complete this CS47 prerequisite survey. Now another point to note here, right? Here are some underlying assumption of your capability, right? First of all, for example, I'm assuming you all know what a my SJSU is. Think of a student like coming from outside, maybe from some community college for the first time, or some other colleges, some other university. They don't know about this my SJSU, right? Now, to do that, like if we kind of assume that our target does not understand or doesn't have that specific skill, we need to possibly elaborate into more basic steps. For example, let's say if I am programming this or giving these steps to a student who does not know my SJSU, then I need to put some step like, okay, type www.mysjsu.edu. There you enter your student ID and password. If you don't have an account, go to IT department, create one, etc., right? So there will be much more detail, right, on this stuff. Also remember, let's take an extreme case. A person who even doesn't know how to operate a computer, then I need to be more elaborative in my steps, right? I need to put, okay, go to a computer, hold a mouse looks like this, can move the pointer looks like this. There's a whole lot of steps involved there, right? You can imagine if a person doesn't know how to operate a computer, how hard it will be to give direction to complete this basic simple task of completing prerequisite survey, right? So So two things here to understand. One is that you need to be aware of the one you are programming or giving instruction to, what is their capability, what they already know, right? Don't presume that they know something. You need to be very specific that it can do this task. They can do this task. They know these things or they don't know these things. You need to be very specific, very knowledgeable about that part. And secondly, depending on that knowledge, your steps will be like either very extensively elaborated or you can actually compact them because you already presume someone knows the basic things. You just give them top level overview of the steps. All right. So these two knowledge you now need to apply to programming a computing system. First of all, you need to know what are the capabilities of a computing system, what it can do and what it cannot do. Then based on that, then you need to provide steps for that computing system to meet certain end goal. It may be you are writing for a gaming program, you are writing a social networking, network program, somewhat processing application, some scientific application, whatever that target is, you need to provide step-by-step instruction or guidance to the computing system within computing system's capability. Okay, that is number one. Number two, and you need to provide that instruction in a language which is understood by that target computing system. All right, so that two main things you need to understand from here. So on elaborating on these points, like some major bullet points here describe programming is a detailed outline of a plan or steps to accomplish certain goal. It involves certain assumption on the capability of that person or the machine at each steps, and it expressed in a language that both program creator and program executor understand. Right? Okay, so that's another good point is there. Like definitely this program need to be created in some language which the target system, the person or machine understand. But you as a creator of a program also need to understand that language. Otherwise, how can you give instruction in that language, right? So that's another good point to understand at this point. So computer program is a detailed outline of steps created by human, executed by computing systems to accomplish certain functionalities to solve real life problem. Okay, so here just for some fun things, like I selected a picture of Wally and some instructor who is shouting out saying that okay, I need to do this for I equals 0, I less than 10, I plus plus, ai bi multiplied by ci, etc., etc. So point is that this probably Wally was an intelligent machine, and probably you do not need to give that detailed step. You can possibly say to Wally that, hey, take this 10 element array B and C, multiply each element and put it in array A, and that should be sufficient for Wally to accomplish this task. But anyway, that's not the main point. Main point is that you are creating programs. You are, as a human, creating programs for a machine to accomplish certain functionality to solve real life problem. That's a computer program.